Hi everyone, we're at our third and unfortunately final session of being children to our fathers. I want to do something a little bit different with you in this third session. Imagine, if you will, a beautiful prize horse running through a lush meadow, a lush green meadow, sun setting, riding beautifully, running freely through that meadow. Okay, image number one. Image number two, a swamp full of dragonflies, low-hanging vines, that yicky green stuff curdling on the surface a lot. Okay, now we're going to take image one and put it in image two. Can you imagine that horse running through that marsh? Imagine how much it would stifle his style, how difficult it would be. What a great loss of talent when that horse would be so constricted by all the falls and slips and not clear places and the water and that green yichi stuff. That, my friends, is how Chazal are meta'er, how Chazal describe the lives of our avot and the reward that's awaiting them in the Gemara in Sanhedrin Tzadik Vav Amud Aleph, and the way Rabbi Yerucham Levovitz and other Bali must explain it. Here's the language. The avos were Kisusim haratzim lefanai bebitzei hamayim, like horses running in front of bitzei hamayim. That encompassed a klal. We're looking for klal of the avos. That was the third klal of the avos which we want to teach. That they were running, and they were prized horses, and they were beautiful, but they ran through very, very difficult situations. Again and again and again, and in a certain way it seems that encompassed their whole life. Let's explain a little. We sometimes imagine Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov living an easy life, a very spiritual life, sitting in lotus position, connected to God in this beautiful meadow, in simplicity and purity. But the truth is, they lived through tzara after tzara, difficulty, trial and tribulation after trial and tribulation. Let's start with Avram. Asar nisyonos, as we learned last time. Nas Avram Avinu, he had 10 nisyonot, 10 trials. But these were difficult trials. You pick up, leave your whole family behind, go from Ur Kasdim to Eretz Yisrael, you get there. That's one. I had to leave my whole family behind. But then, a famine, and I have to leave that beautiful land for another land, for more uncertainty, for more lack of clarity in my life. And then, he gets thrown into a pit, a molten fire, and he has to potentially sacrifice his son, and he has to send another son out because Sarah, his wife, advised him this is not the way. And that son basically was way off the derech, Yishmael. And all this he suffered, and all this he dealt with, and all this he kept running. Yitzchak, in many ways, his challenges mirrored his father's. He also had a son, perhaps even worse than Avram's son. Esav, all the Ra of the world so much comes from Esav and his progeny. That was what he dealt with. And Yaakov, Yaakov's whole life was full of difficulty after difficulty. His wonderful wife, Rachel, passed away on him, and for them a young age. Tricked again and again by his deceitful father-in-law, who he had dealt with so fairly, Lavan. And finally, Kafs of love, Rogso Shel Yosef. Finally, in Parshas Vayeshev, he thought he had gotten to a point in his life. Bikesh Yaakov Lasheva B'Shalva. What did that mean? He wanted to sit in peace. He wanted to go to Miami. What does it mean he wanted to sit in peace? It means he wanted to fully connect to God, just live his days in that kind of Olam Haba, otherworldly existence. That's what he wanted. Kafs of love, Rogso Shel Yosef. Then the terrible Parsha of Yosef, thinking his son was gone, really sent away by his other brothers. Incredible. All that he lived and all that he dealt with. This, my friends, is the life of the Avos. But through everything, they kept running. And not stop running, they ran like horses. Kisusim haratzim lefanei bebitzei hamayim. Through every marsh in their path. Think about that. How much love of God, how much Abbas Hashem, how much dedication, how much drive does that express? That a person is ready to keep going through every difficulty. And Rabbi Yerucham, the great mashgiach of the Mir Yeshiva, in pre-war, the Mir then, further explains, this is what Hashem really wants. Hashem doesn't want automated people that just do the right thing all the time. When it's easy, you go automatic pilot. No bechira, no decision making, just going with the flow. Someone to run through a marsh has to wake up day after day and make a decision. This is difficult. Life's not simple. It's not what I always planned for or what I bargained for, what I went in for, but this is my life, this is my situation. I know there's a Hashem and a Shamayim. I'm going to keep running. I'm going to keep moving through every marsh in my path. And to run in that marsh, you have to keep deciding and deciding. Even though when all that stuff is on your wheels and it's not going well, I'm going to keep moving. This means we shouldn't end the workday and decide whether we were successful or not based on how much money we made that day. We should look at the workday and say, did I use my bechira? Did I use my free choice? It could be I made a lot of money, but I didn't use my bechira. I got angry at my coworkers. I said lashon hara. That was a negative day. But it could be I was not successful at all in the ways that the world teaches what success was. But I wasn't an automatic pilot. I wasn't automated. I was using my bechira, using my free choice, looking into difficulties, not falling to them, deciding, kept moving. That was a successful day. We all have marshes in our lives. Some of them with a lot of that yichi, gooky, green stuff. We can't get our footing straight sometimes. We stumble, and then we finally get out of one marsh, and things seem to be going well, and then we hit another marsh, and we start stumbling again. And a lot of times that second marsh and that third marsh is even deeper than the first marsh. We finally thought we were at a point of ease, and we're not. But we can take those marshes on and say, I'm running like a horse, successful or not, whether it goes easy or not. This is my tafkid right now. This is what I'm living with. This difficult situation is where Hashem has placed me and where life has put me, and I'm going to keep running like a horse through it all. And this is what we have to remember. In a certain way, when life is difficult and we keep running, we're mirroring the lives of the Avos, our fathers, more than when things are just simple, because that was their life. And now I'm mirroring their life. To the world around us, we may not look beautiful. The neighbors may have more money, perfect children, a model marriage, and even be really nice people. But with all the difficulties you may be facing, and all of us are facing some types of difficulties, as long as you keep on running, you don't blow up, curse, give in to despair, fall. Rather, you keep on trying, smiling, being kind, and drawing strength from Hashem, you are then truly carrying on the tradition. That's when you are a Ben Avraham or Bat Sarah. It was a pleasure to share these three ideas about the lives of the Avos, the klalim that we learned. The first one was Al Sarah Nisyonet Nasa Avram Avinu, that Avram was called Avinu in his Nisyonot, because he carried and gave to us a spiritual heritage. As we said, his spiritual reality is our spiritual heritage. The second idea we learned was the idea of Sefer HaYashar, that the Avot, when everything they did it with Yashrus, trustworthiness, to Jew and non-Jew, friend and foe. And finally, this idea of running like a racehorse through all the marshes of life. We should all be zocha to continue learning lessons and be true children to our fathers. Thank you very much.